that the college is an old one. It came about at the turn of the century. But little did we know that it had such great traditions and how it actually started. I must, at the very outset, that's why, profusely thank both the authors here for writing such a book, which of course has come 50 years late. In 1974, I think Dr. Bharatram on the Founders' Day said that a book should be written. It came late, but what a piece it is. And I think the authors deserve another doctorate. Dr. Kavitaji, of course, deserves another doctorate for this. It has all the ingredients of a PhD thesis. It has information from the archives. It is based on field interviews. And I know personally, when Kavitaji described to me how they were running around the alleys and the various gullies of Delhi to get little nuggets of information and scraps of paper. Hats off to you. It's a great piece of scholarship, and we are all indebted to both of you. The movement 1939 to 1942, when the students were out on the roads and they were prosecuted, 5 of them were prosecuted, I think, as what research has gone into it. Hats off to the trio of Sen, Bhattacharya and Tadani, who made this college the temple of learning in the 20th century.
I think this publication brings out how Hindu College, which had the privilege of a visit by Mahatma Gandhi in 1930, an institution which is and has always been anchored in values of nationalism, an institution whose own history is synonymous with our own national movement. But what is most important is the value system that an institution believes in. It's an excellent publication, and let me also say that this fills a very major void in our knowledge of the institution, and I'm sure this will encourage others who may be sitting on photographs and other this thing to come forward so that we can really have an entire library full.
The book is extremely well researched, painstakingly documented, and it discloses some information which was not in the public domain as such. That the college was established by a local businessman as a counter to the mission college is a fact which was known, but now it's documented, and how all the Rai Bahadurs, as they were saying, contributed with money, with all their, for instance, the incident which has been disclosed that the college was being sought to be disaffiliated in 1910 because it did not have any building, and then one of the Rai Bahadurs came forward and sold his own building. You know, his own Haveli was sold so that the college would have a building of its own. That's a great story, you know. That shows this inner zeal of the people, the motivation level which was there. In those days, colleges and institutions were not set up just for profit or for money. There was no money in those days. It was only the inner zeal or the motto. That's what led to the motto of all colleges and institutions. And that is why the book has been titled, I think, the People's Moment. Because this was the zeal of the founder. And if the zeal of the founder or the motivation of the founder is understood and the next generation carries it forward, I think this will be a great contribution which the book would have made.
It's a fascinating book. And you know, it becomes much more fascinating for someone like me for various reasons. And I wish to congratulate Kavita and Bobby Mathur for a magnificent job. The future of India lies with the undergraduates. These are those minds, malleable, that need to be molded. An institution like Hindu College has played a stellar role, and it will play a stellar role in the future as well. And for me personally to be present here today, not just in my capacity as Vice Chancellor, but even in my capacity as a former student of this university, is an extremely enriching moment. The book informs me greatly. It complements, supplements most of my memories, notions, and perceptions of the college and of the university and of India.
Hindu College started as a very small, as you know, residential college in a residential house in Kinari Bazaar, Chandni Chowk, with 13 students. And in the first year, they had only 94 rupees, as the book makes out. But this was collected as fees, 94 rupees as fees and 10 rupees as admission fee. So they had 104 rupees. This fascinating story of how the college got started, how it has developed in all these years, has been brought out in the books. Both Dr. Sharma and Mr. Mathur have done enormous amount of research in the National Archives, Delhi University Archives, Hindu College, and oral interviews and various other things. I tell you, it's not easy.
Aparna very rightly reminded us of the various movements that were taking place in other parts of India. She referred to, rightly, Calcutta, and where also I was brought up. And College Square is as dear to me as Hindu College. The book is squarely placed in Delhi, in Kinari Bazaar, in all this, but the nature of the content of the book with the readers and those who are going to read this must also perhaps be aware of this generic all India background. That's the only point that I want to make here. And Kavitaji, this is not a criticism at all. It is only to again focus in the contextual thing that now coming to Delhi itself, and the narrative is so beautifully and so precisely, and all the panelists have spoken about this and the kind of research that has gone into it. Kudos. First class, first degree, the milegi nahi mili is for the milli jayegi.
The most interesting thing about the book that I find is that it could be made into a film. It is so riveting. It begins with 1857 and this very well-known grain merchant Ramji Das, who helps Bahadur Shah Zafar's army with supplies of grains and with other help, and he gets killed by the British troops precisely for working against the British. And then Ramji Das's grandson, Lala Ramji Das's grandson, Lala Krishan Das, the spirit of Ramji Das passes on to the grandson, and he actually helps in creating this institution.
Seriously, we've read lots of books, lot of intellectual books, but personalized effort of individuals is something that has come out in this book, which I like very much, and which I think we could identify with a lot of the people. And the achievement-oriented, shall I say, DNA of the average Hinduite, also Delhi University, was really pleasing, and over the years we've seen it's beautiful.
We did the official release of the book, but we wanted to create a forum whereby we can invite prominent alumni as well as people from the university to talk about the book and the contribution of the book, the research that has gone into it, and it's opened everyone's eyes on what is the history and nationalist fervor of the Hindu College. Well, I think today primarily the conclusion is that we must ensure that students from coming years, when they enter college, are exposed to the history of the college. They are told what the college has done, what it has contributed, and we have to motivate all the alumni to come and help the college grow further in terms of funds and other efforts that can be put in by the alumni.
I wanted the college to understand what a glorious heritage it has, and that it's not just another college. It's a very, very important institution in itself, which has made great contributions to this country. I chose that title because we were always short on funds. And a time came when we were threatened with disaffiliation because we had no building and we had no money. And then some teachers of the college went from door to door asking for money. Also, when at its inception, Bhikshuk Mandali was formed to go and collect money from the ordinary people, not from any great saints or very influential people. And right up to 1952, an amount worth one bale of cotton used to still come to the college accounts from the cloth merchants of many of the cloth merchants of Chandni Chowk. So it was really a people's movement. And if you see the Punjab Gazette, it says it is a college established for the common people, the Aam Aadmi, so to speak, to provide them affordable education of a kind that they can participate in the polity of the nation. So that is why I called it a people's movement.
Took three to 4 years finding out little details, this very, very rare pictures we got. And even for small details, we used to get excited. We'll ring up each other at night, 12 o'clock, that we found this point. And this has been confirmed. And some of the pictures, we could never think of that we'll get them. We were lucky and we